I'm Deb Moore, Craft Publications Director at Leisure Arts. We're always on the lookout for exciting new projects and techniques that reflect the creative spark inherent in all crafters. But that's not our only goal. We instantly fall in love with any project that guarantees unique, one-of-a-kind results, but especially those that can be done fast and fabulously. That's why we love the Dye-namics technique. Today's podcast will show you how to use RIT dye and the Dye-namics technique to paint a distinctive background on ordinary 14-count Aida fabric. Each and every one of your cross-stitch creations will be unique. Joining me is the creator of the Dye-namics technique, Mary Hutchison, and she's going to demonstrate how simple it is to add a hand-dyed dimension to your cross-stitch projects.
Deb's right. Dyeing fabric is amazingly simple. Here's what you'll need: a cookie sheet, newspaper, plastic wrap, RIT powder dyes, measuring cup and measuring spoon, your Aida fabric to stitch on, an apron, rubber gloves, mixing bowls and mixing spoons, paper towels, and table salt. To mark the area of your fabric to be dyed, work basting stitches along the stitch count lines. Stitch count will be given on your chart. Mark the top of the fabric with an X. Wash the fabric in cool water with a mild dishwashing detergent to remove the sizing. Be sure to rinse well. Press the fabric to remove any wrinkles, but don't press it dry. You want it damp to accept the dyes. Since dyes are meant to color anything they come in contact with, you'll need to protect your work surface. First layer plastic wrap, and then paper towels on your countertops. On your cookie sheet, you'll layer newspaper, plastic wrap, and finally paper towels. Now you place your dampened, basted Aida on top, but don't forget to put on your rubber gloves and your apron. Be sure to use white paper towels. Dye from colored designs on your paper towels may bleed onto your fabric when wet. Our leaflets give you specific colors and measurements. For this iris design, I'm using RIT powder dyes in teal, golden yellow, Kelly green, and purple. I've pre-measured the dye into my container, and I've also included the salt. I've also labeled the container. That helps because sometimes the dye colors are very similar. Add the hot water as indicated in the leaflet. In this case I'm mixing teal, so it's 1.25 cups. Be sure to stir thoroughly to dissolve all the salt in the dye, and this could take about 2 minutes. I keep a pot of water simmering on the stove so that hot water is always available. Be sure to use very hot water, about 140 degrees. Once the dye and salt have dissolved, dip a dampened crumpled paper towel into the dye. Squeeze out the excess and test it on your piece of scrap fabric. If you like the color, and this looks good to me too, then you're ready to move on to your basted stitched piece. Refer to your leaflet photograph and you'll see that there's a teal dye on the left hand side and up here in the middle. So I'll get some more dye, squeeze out the excess, and go directly to your fabric. You'll see I already got a drip there, and drips are inevitable, but you can work them out. Sometimes you'll need to work harder, add some more dye, dab a little harder, rub it out. And you will sometimes get crumples from the paper towel, but those are okay. They can be brushed off later once it's dry. Continue adding dye until you've got all the coverage you need, referring to the photograph as you need to. And then I need to add a little bit more up here in the upper right corner, kind of toward the center. Got a big blob there, but that's okay. My stitching will probably cover it. Okay, that looks good for my teal. Now let's go to the yellow-green mixture. This color is made up of part golden yellow and part Kelly green. Test it on your scrap fabric just as we did with the teal. And that color looks good. It's a little bit dark, but I think it'll be okay. Now, referring back to the photo, I see green here in the middle between the two teal colors and in the upper right corner and a little bit down in the center. So that's where I'm going to add my dye. Get some more dye, squeeze it out, and go to my fabric. Add it right here between, again, I'm getting blobs where my fingers are. I can't seem to ever remember to keep my little finger out of the picture into this picture here. Add some more over here. And here's a tip. Be sure to extend your dye past your basting lines by about 1 inch. That way your piece will look really good when you have it custom framed and matted. Add a little bit at the bottom, right here just between where those iris leaves are going to go. I think I'll blend this a little bit more by rubbing again. And right here too, because it's a little dark in some areas. We can fade out to a real light green too by just using the same color. Rub it a bit here. And I think that looks good. Our last color is purple. It's in our fill-in or blending color. Let's test it, and that's a nice light purple, so let's use it. Place it where the teal and green meet to kind of soften those edges. You can also place it here and there, anywhere you'd like to on the fabric, just to kind of fill in and add some different areas. A lot of times this works real well blending around the edges, you're basting. But don't worry about covering all the fabric. White areas most of the time will be covered by your stitching. Remove the excess dye from your fabric by holding it under cold running water and allowing the water to flow through the fabric. Rinse for about 2 minutes. Don't worry if excess dye comes off in the sink, this is normal. Then wrap it up in some paper towels to blot up the excess water. And don't worry if there's dye on these paper towels too, that's okay. Again, you're just trying to get out every bit of excess dye. Place it on a covered work surface, in this case my ironing board. Cover it with some more paper towels. See why you need lots of white paper towels? And then just iron it dry. Continue doing this till the whole piece is dry. Some dye may come off on these white paper towels, and that's okay. Oh, one other tip. When you're stitching, try to keep your hands clean and dry because you won't be able to wash the stitch piece. And if your hands are a little damp, you may get some dye on them and it may transfer to your embroidery floss, but the dye won't hurt you. Now you've created a one-of-a-kind dyed fabric piece for your stitching. No one else will have the same piece as you.
As you can see, the Dye-namics technique really is simple to do. We've even created a leaflet of Dye-namics projects designed especially for kids. You can find that publication as well as our other dynamic technique titles at our website at www.leisurearts.com. While you're there, you can watch podcasts demonstrating additional easy and exciting techniques, or just browse our shelves for more publications designed to help you enjoy the art of everyday living.